Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be building a simple but really powerful AI agent using Make.com and Google Sheets. Now you're going to give this AI agent a YouTube link, and then it's going to summarize it using Gemini AI, and then it's going to pop the summary back into your Google Sheet. For students, researchers, and anybody who's trying to save time. So as an example here, let's say I had to understand this over here, how to do the direct comparison test for calculus. I'm going to take this link, I'm going to pop it right into my Google Sheet, and right now my scenario isn't active, so I'll click on run manually. It takes the link, it's going to send it to Gemini, get the summary, and then update my Google Sheets. Now this video is around, 15 minutes, but you can see it finished within under a minute. And as you can see right here, it's given us a description of the limit comparison test video, and that is how the functionality works. Now moving on to this build, I'm going to show you step by step how to make this AI agent. Of course, I have the JSON file that you're going to import into Make.com, which is this platform right here, in my Notion site in the description. Of course, it's for free. I'm going to also show you how you can download this and then immediately import it inside of Make.com and what you need to change to make it work for you. So now I'm going to show you step by step how to make this AI agent. Of course, I have the JSON file that you're going to import into Make.com in my Notion site, link in the description. So over here, this is Make.com. If you haven't heard of it, it's just a platform where you're able to make all these types of workflows for automation and AI agents. I use it for AI agents. You can also use this in N8N, but for the template that I gave, you're going to have to use Make.com. You're going to need Make.com, Gemini API key, which is free as well, and you're going to need a Google Sheets account, which is all very simple. Of course, first of all, you have to get through the Google AI Studio and you have to get your API key. Simply search up Google AI Studio and make an account. I did all of this for free. Now go onto Gemini here. You can chat with it as well. You can manually talk with it. It's a little bit better than ChatGPT because it can actually tell you what specific points in the video, like timestamps, go over a specific concept. So if you have maybe a history lecture or a philosophy lecture and you're really struggling with a certain topic, it would be best if you go into Gemini, give the link, and then ask it to find you where this topic is so you're not wasting your time watching the whole video. Simply click on Get API Key. This is a curl command. If you don't know what that is, it's simply a command that you can put into a platform called Postman, or you can use it into your own code. But all you're going to do is click on Create API Key. You're going to have to add it to a Google Cloud project, which you can do on your own, and then simply go onto your API key, click this, and then copy it. Now what you're going to need to do is you're going to go over to Make.com. We're going to immediately create a new scenario, and now this is where the template comes into play. So over here on these three dots, you're able to import your own blueprint. I'm going to import mine, which is through this folder. We have this one. So AI video make.json. It has to be a .json file or else it's not the right template. Now this is exactly what I have before, but when you import this, you're going to have to change it, specifically connecting your account for the API key and of course Google Sheets, or else it's not going to work, and when you run it, nothing's going to happen. So for example, here we have my drive. Of course, I just imported this again into my own account, so everything works. You're simply going to have to add a connection. Now this just ensures that you're giving it consent to actually go through your sheets, and this node is simply to watch for new rows. So anytime we add a new row in our YouTube video summarizer Google Sheet right over here, we give it the link, and then it's going to be watching out for whenever we add a link. When we add the link, then it's going to process it by sending it to Gemini, and then we're going to get our response. Now all you have to do is click on search by path, make sure that you have your spreadsheet ID over here. You can also use any other ID you want. Of course, you see this is my Google Sheets. You don't have to look through that, but you add your own. And then I put the limit as 1. Now this just means that it's not going to give me more than one YouTube URL. Of course, I don't want to confuse Gemini and give it 2, because then it's not going to understand what I'm using it for. Now we're going to transfer over to the second one. This only has 3 nodes, so it's a very simple direct interaction. You can head over to Google AI Studio, go back to Gemini, and simply start talking to Gemini right over here. I prefer it over ChatGPT because it can actually search more on the web and can actually consume the videos. So here we have our post request. Now this HTTP request, think of it kind of just like we're sending data somewhere and we're getting a response back. Post is the method that we use for sending data. We're going to be sending our prompt for Gemini API, which is the AI. Now, of course, I have my API key here. You would just change your API key over here. So make sure that when you have your API key from Google AI Studio, replace it over here because it's not going to use mine. And also, all you would have to change, if you want to change the prompt, you can. I set it up the best I could so that it would simply kind of structure the video down for me so that I could just use it rather as a study guide instead of a guide for me to understand everything. Because if we were able to use this and pass the test, that'd be a lot better than watching the whole video. Of course, the entire point of this AI agent is to save students time, save anybody who wants to really understand videos but doesn't have enough time to watch them. So mostly lectures would be a really good case for this. Now, of course, these over here are placeholders. They're kind of variables that pass through our workflow. You can see that this is what we have so far. We have a Google Sheets, but the thing is nothing is happening. So you can see here on my other account, for example, here, this is even cleared out because there's nothing here. What we have to understand is that when there's no data here, right over here, next to these nodes, when there's no data, that means that we don't have anything to put there, which is why we have to run through it node by node, get the data, and then replace it there. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on run once, of course, add another link. I'll just add this one, and I'm going to go over here, click on run once. We need to make sure that it is getting one of the rows. Now it's going to send that over to Gemini. After we do that, it's going to give us our response, but it might not put it into the Google Sheets right away because, again, it might have a different variable that we're sending. For example, here, you can see it did not send it to the Google Sheets. Now this is because we don't have that variable yet. You can see that all of this, a lot of this is BS. You don't need to know all of this. But for example, here, we would simply delete this. You would simply delete this, and then you would drag and drop it right over here. And this video URL is just going to be the same thing as over here. So this is stuff that you kind of have to pay attention for, because when you import my template, you're going to have to customize it to work on your base. So that it's going to look for your Google Sheets and it's going to use your API key, or else it's not going to work properly and you're not going to understand what's happening. Now, to fully automate this and really take advantage of this AI agent, you're going to have to turn it on so that it actually is regularly looking for these links that you're going to be putting in the Google Sheets. Now, you go out here, just click return and click on. Now, this scenario is turned on. Because of this, whatever setting you have it to, it's going to regularly be checking. Of course, you see this clock ticking right next to the Google Sheets node, and it's just going to run this node every 15 minutes. That just means every 15 minutes, it's going to check, does this Google Sheets have a new row? So for example, right now, if it just called it, now it's going to call it again in 15 minutes. Now that is all you really need to be able to fully take advantage now that you have this AI agent working for you, and it works automatically. You don't have to go over here to make.com and click run for it to run through. And that's all you need to customize your agent and build your agent to be able to summarize your videos, lectures, whatever it may be, all for you so that you can understand this information quicker and save your time. Now, an extra feature that could be implemented here that you need to understand is this could be helpful to you if you're simply going to get a general idea of what this video is going over. If you really want it to be helpful, I would recommend that instead of building this AI agent, you could also simply head over to Gemini on Google AI Studio and start talking over here. Summarize this video. And then we're going to give it the YouTube link. And then you click on enter, it's going to have it all here locally. Now what that means is you can consistently ask it, oh, I didn't understand this concept. Can you give me the timestamps of this example and this concept? Can you give me the timestamps of when he's doing the direct comparison test and when he's doing limit comparison test? You're able to essentially dissect this video just with Gemini. Now you could also do this using this AI agent. You could also customize it on any end to be sort of a chatbot as well. So you have your own AI agent chatbot rather than using Gemini. To the YouTube link. You could say, find me the specific part in which the guy goes over example 3. Let's say if it's your teacher's video and you want to see example number 3, then you could add this on, because over here in our HTTP request, all we're doing is we're essentially just embedding our video URL row inside of our prompt. Now, of course, you guys have used ChatGPT. If you pass in a video and then you're also going to say a bunch of other stuff, it's not going to take that as part of the URL. It's going to interpret it separately. So of course it will work. My opinion, this approach is kind of a little ugly to add on to it. So I would rather just use Gemini and be over with in that way. Now, if you found this useful, make sure to smash the like button and leave a comment. If you guys need any help, I will put a cal.com link in the description, a free 30-minute consultation. It can go longer if you need. If you need help implementing this, just simply book a call, because I will be able to help you. It'll be a lot faster real time. Everything is for free. All the resources in this video are going to be in the description. And that's it. If you guys have any ideas to make this even stronger or even faster, please let me know in the comments and we can get some. Make sure to